Let us start the chemistry discussion today. Here you can see the first question seems to be very simple because there are so many informations given here. Tetraatomic, immediately one may conclude it may be P4. Fortunately, all the options starting with P4. And then they say the product is a dehydrating agent. All of you know that a very good dehydrating agent is P4O10. So even without that reaction, one can easily guess that. But anyway, let me write the compound here. P4 plus nitrous oxide. How do you know that it is nitrous oxide? That's also given. They say the oxidation state of nitrogen is 1. So it should necessarily be nitrous oxide. And you will get P4O10 along with elementary nitrogen. If you want, you can balance it. For getting 10 oxygen, you can put a 10 N2O here. So 10 N2 here. So anyway, the answer you got, that can be correct option D. Okay, let me go to the next question here. What about this? Arrange your, this question seems to be again very simple, but you know that there is no correct answer. You know why? Phenol, all halophenols are strongly acidic than phenol. But you know that parafluorophenol is almost as acidic as phenol. Because you know, in the case of fluorine, the lone pair resides in the 2p orbital, and even though it possesses very strong minus I effect, the lone pair of the fluorine get donated to plus R effect. So fluorine, its plus R effect almost compensated with the minus I effect, but it is slightly more acidic than phenol. But in reliable data, you can see that if you consider up to 3 significant figure, parafluorophenol and phenol possess almost same acidity. But strictly speaking, parafluorophenol is slightly more acidic than phenol. But unfortunately, there is no answer here. You know, parabromophenol is more acidic than parachlorophenol. There is no such point here. Parabromo greater than parachloro, which is greater than parafluoro, which is greater than phenol. That is the correct answer. Anyway, let me go to the next question. In this question, again you can see clearly that 500 unit is missing, 0.2 unit is missing. But most of you guess that it may be 500 cm square and molecular area can be 0.2 nanometer square. Let me consider that data here. That is, I am adding here cm square. Please, the question actually to be deleted here also. But let me try to get that answer here. Let me add the unit 500 cm square here, 0.2 nanometer square here. And then you know the remaining part, you know, what is the total number of molecules needed to cover the 500 cm square? 500 divided by 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 7. You know why I am taking 10 raised to minus 7 here? Because numerator contain cm square, denominator should also be in cm square. So this much molecule is to be needed. In order to get this much molecules, how many ml is to be taken? You know that if something is given in a dissolved condition, how will you determine the number of moles? Number of moles is equal to mv by 1000, you know. And how will you get the number of molecules? Into Avogadro number. So this should be equal to what? This should be equal to 500 by 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 14. You can take it in the numerator as 10 to the power of 14. The rest you can do. You please verify that you will get exactly as correct option as B. The question is to be deleted because here the unit cm square and nm square is missed. Let me go to the next question. What about here? Marsh gas, all of you know, it is methane. No need of explanation. You know the most abundant atmospheric pollutant is also methane. In marshy area, the important organic compound released is methane. That all of you know. What about question number 50 here? Very famous Rosenmann's reduction. You know, acetaldehyde when reduced in the poison in the presence of inactivated palladium, you will get an aldehyde. This is a method of preparation of aldehyde from an acid chloride. Isn't it? So no more explanation needed. Is a very famous Rosenmann's reduction. What about question number 51? Here, you know, according to Le Chatelier principle, if the number of molecule is decreased, the reactant contain 2 gases, product side there is only 1, the number of gas molecule found to decrease. And in this case, you know, according to Le Chatelier principle, pressure should be raised. And meanwhile, they say it is exothermic. If it is exothermic, temperature should be minimized. So the lowering the temperature and increasing the pressure will favor the forward reaction. Now let me go to the question number 52. Amoxicillin. This is a textbook sentence. You know, amoxicillin is a semi-synthetic modification of antibiotic penicillin, is your textbook sentence. Question number 53. You want to find out the molecules that lie in the same plane. What are the molecules? You need not to bother about the hybridization here, because any species having total number of 2 atoms or 3 atoms should necessarily be in a plane. Am I right? You can create a plane combining with the 2 other atoms along with a central atom. So this should be planar, this should be planar. And what about here? You know that this should be pyramidal because the total of 4 atoms. So you should bother about the geometry of the central atom. So you know this is pyramidal. BF3, you know, there is central boron with an sp2 hybridized hybrid orbitals are oriented in a plane. SF4, all of you know, sp3d with the seesaw geometry. Here total of 3 atoms, you can take this, total of 3 atoms. And what about SO3? Central sulfur is also sp2. So it should be planar triangular. In the case of XeF6, you cannot take it because it is sp3d2. sp3d2 octahedral geometry. Ammonia pyramidal, not planar. What about benzene? All of you know benzene is a planar molecule. XeF2 is linear. So that also planar geometry you can say. Line means what? That lies in the plane. XeF4, you know it is sp3d2 but its geometry is planar, square planar. So you have to take this also as correct answer. PCl5 trigonal bipyramid, it cannot be in a plane. Among all these, all are very simple. Anybody can guess, but I2Cl6 is an important species. I2Cl6 exists in a dimer and iodine with sp3d2 hybridization. And you know that the species is as a whole lies in a plane. You can see the chlorine here, and if you consider another species like this, you can see what? You can see that this lone pair coordinated over here, this can be coordinated over here. The 2 lone pair lies above and below. As a whole, the species can be in a plane. So I2Cl6 is planar. So how many species you got? PH3, you know, almost pyramidal. That cannot be what? Planar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 species are there in planar geometry. So the correct answer can be option C. Simple one. Only remarkable point here is what? I2Cl6. Now let me go to the next question, question number 9. The properties of elements. It's a statement, you know, mostly is modern periodic law. Physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic number. All of you know that Mendeleev said it as atomic mass, but here atomic number, so the correct answer is option D. In the estimation of sulfur, what is the role of nitric acid? All of you know nitric acid is a very powerful oxidizing agent. It will oxidize the sulfur to sulfate anion, and ultimately the solution contains sulfuric acid. All of you know that. How to precipitate the sulfate? Sulfate can be precipitated as barium sulfate by the addition of barium chloride. Now what about the question number 11? That is question number 56 in this case. 52 moles of argon. 52 moles of argon means 52 into Avogadro number. 52U. 52U stands for 1 helium means what? 4U. So there is only 13 helium atoms. Fortunately, there is only one option having 13 in the central part. What about 52 gram? 52 gram means 52 by 4. That will be equal to 13. 13 moles. 13 into Avogadro number. So this should be 13 into Avogadro number. This should be 52 into Avogadro number. You please do it. Fortunately, there is only one option having central 13. You please verify the other two. So let me accept option C as the correct answer. Now what about question number 57? 3-methyl-2-pentene. Let me consider that 3-methyl-2-pentene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second carbon contain double bond. Third carbon contain methyl. You are adding with what? Hypochlorous acid. HOCl. How? Chlorine water means hypochlorous acid. That is, there is a negative part OH minus, positive is chlorine. According to Markovnikov's addition, the negative part will go to the carbon having lesser number of hydrogen atom. So where will the OH go? OH will, no doubt, it will go and attach here. Am I right? And what about the case here? Negative part will go and attach the carbon having lesser number of hydrogen. Where is lesser number of hydrogen? The carbon, in this carbon, OH group will go and attack, chlorine will go and attack over here. So which can be the correct option? The correct answer can be option C. Simple Markovnikov's rule is enough. We are taking HOCl, OH negative and Cl plus. Okay. Now what about question number 13 here? The major product formed by the monobromination of phenyl benzoate. Phenyl benzoate. You know, in the case of phenyl benzoate, this ring is an activated ring because this ring is directly linked with an atom having lone pair, whereas this ring is a highly deactivated ring because this ring is directly in contact with an atom which is multiple bonded with the second most electronegative oxygen. Am I right? So this ring is a deactivated ring, whereas this ring is an activated ring. So where will this electrophile go? The electrophile will never go to this ring and it will go to this ring. And you know, whenever a ring is directly attached with an atom having lone pair, that will be an orthopara directive group. Since it is bulky group, we will prefer which group, which position? Para position. So the ring which attached with the oxygen contain bromine at para position. So the correct option can be what? Option D. Am I right? Let me go to the next question. By adding inert gas at constant volume, you need not to go through these options. You know, whatever be the equilibria, if an inert gas is introduced at constant volume, nothing will happen. Isn't it? You need not to bother about the delta Ng. Whether number of gas molecule increases or decreases, if inert gas is applied at constant volume, nothing will happen to the equilibria. In all this case, no effect is observed. But please note that if inert gas is introduced at constant pressure, the direction where the number of molecule increased is favored. Even if you apply noble inert gases at constant pressure, in this case, nothing will happen. You know why? Delta Ng is 0. But what about here? Here, the number of molecule is reduced. If inert gas is introduced at constant pressure, this equilibria will move backward. And what about here? This equilibria will move forward. But the question is at constant volume, nothing will happen. So in all this case, no effect is observed. What about question number 60 here? An exothermic reaction. They say the reaction is exothermic. So what about the exothermic reaction? The reactant and product possess in this energy, product possess lesser energy than the reactant. And then they say the first step is slow. The first step is slow means what? It requires higher activation energy. Second step requires lower activation energy. In which case this graph is conveyed here. Let me analyze. See, this is conveyed in B option. This can be conveyed in B option. So we can take this as the correct answer. I am not bothering about other options here. You know the reason. It is exothermic and the first hump is higher than the second hump. So naturally, what? This can be the correct answer. Now let me go to the next question. What about question number 61? The gas evolved on heating with methyl magnesium bromide with methanol. Grignard reagent with methanol. When Grignard reagent is treated with water, acetylene, ammonia, methanol, any species having delta positive hydrogen, the Grignard reagent gets destroyed. Isn't it? Grignard reagent gets destroyed. You know the reason. The carbanion carbon will readily abstract hydrogen and liberating methane gas. So the correct answer will be methane. What about question number 62 here? Acetonitrile. Acetonitrile, when it is treated with what? Reduction. Simply reduction. They are not mentioning the reducing agent. You can get what? You can get a primary amine. You can get primary amine. Ethanamine is obtained. So the correct answer can be C. This can be brought about by lithium aluminum hydride but not by sodium borohydride. But please don't forget that if you convert it into imine, that can be reduced with sodium borohydride and lithium aluminum hydride. It's a remarkable point. Whereas as such it is in cyanide. All of you know that sodium borohydride will fail to reduce if the third valency contain nitrogen or oxygen. That means the ester group is given to sodium borohydride, nothing will happen to this group. And same way if amide, in the case of amide also you can see the third valency nitrogen, nothing will happen with the sodium borohydride. In all this case, lithium aluminum hydride can act as a reducing agent. Sodium borohydride cannot reduce this or this, and like the third valency here also heteronitrogen atom, so this part cannot be reduced by sodium borohydride. But if it is converted into imine, that can be reduced by sodium borohydride. Now here the answer you have already obtained. The answer is ethanamine, that all of you know. Now what about question number 63 here? For the closest packing of atoms A, the maximum radius of the atoms B that can be fitted into octahedral void. All of you know that R void by R sphere. R void by R sphere if you take, it will range from 0.414 to 0.732. And here you can see that if you are keeping the A atoms in direct contact, if A is kept in direct contact and then you are fitting a species in an octahedral void, without disturbing A, the maximum radius of the species, that is B, should be what? That should be equal to 0.414 times the radius of A. That all of you know. But in the case of rock salt structure, you can see that chloride ions are arranged in FCC and sodium ions are arranged in octahedral voids. You know, really sodium ion radius divided by chloride ion radius is actually 0.53. What does it mean? Actually, radius of the cation by radius of the anion, if it is up to 0.732, 0.414 to 0.732, the anion can be arranged in FCC and sodium ion can be in octahedral void. This question actually given in that sense, that is the maximum radius of B. One can say that maximum radius of the B can be what? 0.414 times the radius of A. But I really object that maximum radius can be something like radius of the B equal to 0.732 times radius of A. Actually, I am really objecting this part because no doubt in octahedral arrangement or in rock salt structure, you can place up to this size. But actually, if you introduce the B such as 0.732 times A, actually that AR is not in closest arrangement. A is not in close packed. Even in the case of sodium chloride, all of you know, I hope you are following. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ലേ? അതായത് സോഡിയം ക്ലോറൈഡിൻ്റെ കേസിൽ പോലും ബിഗർ സോഡിയം അയോണിനെ അക്കമഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ക്ലോറൈഡ് അയോണുകൾ വിട്ടുവിട്ടാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നത്. ക്ലോറൈഡ് അയോൺ കോണ്ടാക്റ്റ് പൊസിഷനിൽ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മാക്സിമം വയ്ക്കാവുന്നത് 0.414 റേഡിയസ് മാത്രമാണ്. പക്ഷേ കീപ്പിംഗ് ക്ലോസസ്റ്റ് പാക്കിംഗ്, even in the case of rock salt structure, we will say chloride ions are in FCC, isn't it? So you will get the correct answer as, you can take the correct answer as D, but please don't forget that without disturbing A, the maximum radius of B you can introduce will be 0.414A. I hope it is clear. Now let me do the question number 64 here. Arrange in the order of stability of enol form. That all of you know that this hydrogen will undergo tautomerism, and greater the acidic nature of this hydrogen, naturally greater will be the tautomeric content. So in that sense, the methyl group that will reduces the acidic nature of this hydrogen. So clearly this readily undergo tautomerism, and this is slightly difficult. And what about here? There is no hydrogen over this carbon. The hydrogen should be taken from here. So the enol content is negligibly small. So correct order will be 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. So then we will always consider, suppose it is instead of methyl, if you put it as phenyl group, no doubt the tautomeric content will be very high. Please note it. But here being methyl group, that will minimize the enol content. If it is a phenyl group, that will increase the enol content. Clear now? Now let me go to question number 65 here. Among the following sets of bases, which sets of bases is present in both DNA and RNA? You know that in DNA means it is ATCG and RNA means it is AUCG. So the common factor here is what? A, C and G. So the correct answer can be option B. What about question number 66? So what a simple question. They directly give you the reaction and they say there are 6 electrons needed for 1 mole dichromate, isn't it? So 1 Faraday is also given here. What do you want to find out? 96,500 Coulomb into 6 Faraday is needed for 1 mole dichromate. You want to just multiply it. 0, 0, 6 5s are 33, 39, 6 5s 69, 54, 57. Is there any such answer here? Okay, the correct option goes to option A here. What about question number 67? You want to find out the species which will not show geometrical isomerism. You know that it possesses cis and trans isomerism, octahedral complex. You can put B in the cis position or in trans position. And for this is our answer. There is no geometrical isomerism possible. Please note that if you place A and only one B is there, if you place B in this side or if you place the B here, both are identical. Please note that for an octahedron there is no axial and equatorial like trigonal bipyramid. There is no such axial or equatorial position in this case. If you take a square over here or if you take a square like this, in both the case the square is identical. If you take the square like this or if you take a square like this, both are identical. So there is no axial and equatorial position, so that it possesses no isomer. These two are identical species, you know. And you know here it can be FAC and MER isomerism, facial and meridional. So our answer is answer B. What about question number 68? You want to identify the correct statement about boracene, B3N3H6. All of you know that in B3N3H6, it is also called inorganic benzene and it possesses aromatic stability. Isn't it? It possesses aromatic character, but it is not correct to say it possesses aromatic stability, you know. Boracene is not like benzene. Boracene is actually reactive. But correct aromatic stability attributed to benzene. Anyway, they say what boracene is aromatic is correct. There are 4 isomers of bisubstituted molecule. That also correct. You know why? In the case of benzene, you know there is only 3. It can be either ortho or it can be meta or it can be para. But in the case of boracene, you know that in the case of boracene you can have one ortho type. How? If you put X here and X here or X here and here or here and here, these are all identical. There is only one ortho derivative. What about para? There is only one para derivative, no doubt. If you put one X here and you have to put diametrically opposite here, one X lies on boron and other X lies on nitrogen. And if you put one X here, the other X will be here. So that also identical. So there is only one para. But what about meta? There are 2 meta possible in the case of boracene. You know how? If you put one X here and one X here, that is both lies on boron atom. You can replace this hydrogen with X and you can replace this hydrogen with X here. So in both the X that lies on the boron atom. Am I right? What about here? If you place one X here and another X here, these 2 lies on the nitrogen atom. Do you agree with me? So you can have 2 types of meta. One both lies on boron atom, other both lies on nitrogen atom. There is only one type of ortho because one X if it is situated in boron, other should be in nitrogen. One para only, one in boron, other in nitrogen. But there are 2 types of meta. Both X lies on the boron atom or both X lies on the nitrogen atom. But in the case of benzene, you know that there is only 3 isomers possible, ortho, meta and one para. So what about second statement correct? Boracene is more reactive towards, no doubt, Boracene is more reactive. So all the statement given about Boracene is correct. Now let me introduce another question. Question number 69. Lithium aluminum hydride. You know that lithium aluminum hydride as such will not hydrogenate this double bond. Whereas if you are considering cinnamic acid, that is beta carbon associated with the phenyl ring and alpha beta unsaturation can be hydrogenated even with the lithium aluminum hydride. You know that if it is treated with the lithium aluminum hydride along with the reduction of the functional group, you can hydrogenate this part also. But in this case, there is no phenyl group attached to the beta carbon, so the double bonded carbon cannot be hydrogenated. So COOH can get converted into CH2OH. So lithium aluminum hydride will produce what will not affect the double bond, whereas COOH get reduced to CH2OH. I hope it is clear. Now let me go to question number 70 here. What about this question? Starting material used in Solvay process. You know that in Solvay process we are using brine solution. So that in Solvay process the first step is ammoniating tower, in which we are taking saturated sodium chloride solution and ammonia gas is passing. And after that, you know, you want to get a source of carbon. This is sent to carbonating tower, and where we are passing carbon dioxide from the bottom. The source of this carbon dioxide can be limestone. That is not mentioned over here. So to start with, you require ammonia and calcium carbonate and salt solution. Only brine solution is given here. So Solvay process require only brine solution in this. No need of all other options. So the correct option should be necessarily answer B. What about question number 71? Compound P forms a precipitate with a silver nitrate. The precipitate dissolves in excess reagent P. P cannot be. You can immediately say the answer is potassium hydroxide. That you know that silver nitrate, even if forms silver hydroxide, that will readily converted into silver oxide, and the silver oxide cannot be further dissolved by KOH. So that metal oxide being alkaline nature. Whereas these three, all of you know, these are all very familiar. Potassium cyanide giving silver cyanide precipitate, but you know that is dissolved by complex formation. And all of you know the case of ammonia. In the case of ammonia, you know, during the preparation of Tollens reagent, if you add silver, 1 drop of ammonium hydroxide in silver nitrate, you will get a precipitate, and you are further adding ammonium hydroxide just to redissolve it. So that is how you can prepare what? Tollens reagent. Thiosulfate, you know, silver thiosulfate, and during the complex formation that also get dissolved. So the correct answer can be option A. What about question number 72 here? Addition of sodium hydroxide to a weak acid HA, you are getting an acidic buffer, isn't it? You are getting an acidic buffer, and the pH of the buffer is given as 6. How will you find out the pH of an acidic buffer? pH equal to pKa plus log salt concentration divided by the acid concentration. That is generally used. And here pH is 6, pKa is 5 plus log salt concentration, acid concentration. Necessarily that should be 10. Why? You know, 5 plus 1 should give you 6. So log 10 is 1. So this part should be 10. So salt by acid should be 10:1. So the correct option should be A. Fortunately, they need to determine what? The ratio of salt to acid. Isn't it? The ratio of salt to acid is needed. So directly you will get 10:1. What about question number 73? Electron was shown experimentally to have wave property by Davison and Germer, that I think you are studying very detailed in physics. G.P. Thomson and Davison and Germer reduced wave character of electrode. They demonstrated wave nature of electron experimentally. What about question number 74? Ability of an ion to bring about coagulation. All of you know the Hardy-Schultz rule. the greater the valency of active ions, greater will be the power of coagulation. You please note that there is a term active ions. That means what? The coagulating agent should possess opposite charge as that of what? Colloidal state. For example, if colloidal state is a positive charged colloidal system, we want to consider the valency of the negative ions in it. In that case, HCl and H2SO4, if you take, the sulfuric acid possess greater coagulating property. Why? The anion possess greater charge here. So both magnitude and sign of its charge is considered. That is what the Hardy-Schultz rule says. What about question number 75 here? You know delta U. What is delta U? Delta U equal to Q plus W. And if the process is adiabatic, if system and surrounding are thermally isolated, clearly you can say Q equal to 0. Heat cannot enter or liberate from the system, Q equal to 0. So quantitatively delta U is equal to W. So that will give you adiabatic work. What about question number 76? Sodium extract is heated with concentrated nitric acid before testing halogen. You know why? The Lacinius extract should be first boiled with nitric acid so as to remove the sulfide and cyanide if present in it. Otherwise, what will happen? You know, if silver nitrate is added, if there is sulfide, you will get a black precipitate of silver sulfide and a white precipitate of silver cyanide. That will interfere with our precipitate, like AgCl is white, AgBr pale yellow, AgI is yellow. If along with that, if these two are produced, that will definitely interfere with it. So the purpose of boiling with nitric acid is to remove sulfide and cyanide ion. That is familiar to all of you. What about question number 77? What amount of bromine will be required to convert 2 gram of phenol? You are given with the phenol, you know, in the case of phenol, the molar mass is what? Phenol is nothing but benzene with 1 oxygen, right? So it should be 78 plus 16, that is 94. 94 gram bromine, 94 gram phenol require what? Require 6 bromine atom. Am I right? The byproduct HBr is removed, that all of you know. So if you take 6 bromine atom, ultimately 3 bromine atom will go and attach it over here. What does it mean? 94 gram phenol require 6 into 80 gram bromine. Am I right? Atomic mass of bromine is taken as 80. So 94 gram phenol require 6 into 80 gram bromine. And if so, 2 gram phenol require 6 8s are 48, 480 by 94 into 2. That can be approximately what? 94 you can see, if you even if you take it as 100, you can put 4.8 into 2, 9.6, slightly higher than 9.6. You will definitely get option as 10.22 because all options are largely deferred. So the correct answer should be option C. What about question number 78? For the decomposition of hydrogen iodide at 1000 Kelvin, the following data were obtained. You know that the rate of this reaction can be hypothetically written as R equal to K into concentration of Hi raised to X. So that what you want to find out is X. How will you find out? You can see the data suggests that when the concentration is doubled, rate become 4 times. Am I right? Rate become 4 times. When the concentration is doubled, the rate become 4 times, suggesting that X should be equal to 2. So it is a second order reaction. What about question number 79 here? Molecular weight of oxalic acid is 126. The weight of oxalic acid required to neutralize 100 cc of normal solution. That means 1 normal. 100 cc of 1 normal NaOH means what? It is 0.1 equivalent. Am I right? Am I right? 1000 cc of 1 normal means 1 equivalent. 100 cc of 1 normal means 0.1 equivalent. So 0.1 equivalent NaOH is taken. So naturally 0.1 equivalent of oxalic acid is needed. You know that equivalent weight of oxalic acid should be 63. Why? Oxalic acid, all of you know, is a dibasic acid. Its molar mass is 126, so the equivalent weight is 63. So 0.1 equivalent of NaOH require only 0.1 equivalent of oxalic acid. That means 6.3 gram oxalic acid is needed. What about question number 80? The energy of second Bohr orbit of hydrogen atom is given. All of you know the expression for energy, minus 13.6 into z square by n square, or you can say energy is proportionate to n square, or you can say that energy in the second orbit by energy in the fourth orbit equal to 4 square divided by 2 square, because you know it is inversely proportional to n square. The magnitude is inversely proportional to n square, all of you know. So you can say that 16 by 4, that is equal to 4. So E2 is equal to 4 times E4. What you want to find out here is what? E4. You want to find out energy in the fourth orbit. E4 is equal to E2, energy in the second orbit, divided by 4. That will be equal to minus 82. The correct option goes to option D. Now let me go to question number 81. The resistance of one normal solution of acetic acid is given. What do you want to find out? Equivalent conductance. All of you know that lambda EQ equal to 1000 kappa by normality. Molar conductance, you know, 1000 kappa by molarity. Here 1000 kappa by normality. But the kappa is missing. How will you find out kappa? All of you know that kappa is equal to cell constant by R. Cell constant by resistance will give you the kappa. The normality is there. 1000 into cell constant. What about cell constant here? The cell constant is given as 1.15 divided by normality of acetic acid is 1 into R. What about the resistance offered here? 250. The resistance offered here is 250. Am I right? So what do you want to find out? You can simply divide here. So it can be what? 4.6. Am I right? What about next question number 82 here? A salt Ma2 ionizes, and it was found that a given solution of the salt had the same freezing point as the solution of glucose of twice the molality. What about glucose? Glucose possesses neither dissociation nor association, you know. But that means glucose actually possesses want-of factor 1. But what about this one? This possesses twice that. So in this case, the want-of factor is 2. I hope it is clear. Want-of factor for this one is 2. That is clearly given. You know that since one decomposes to give three species, you can say want-of factor I is equal to 1 plus 2 alpha. Do you agree with me? This is of the type A gives 3B type. So in that case, want-of factor I equal to 1 plus 2 alpha, all of you know. So I is equal to 2 here. That is equal to 1 plus 2 alpha. What does it mean? 2 alpha is equal to 1, alpha is equal to 0.5. So the degree of dissociation is 0.5. Clear now? What about question number 83 here? Solubility product of AgCl is given as 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 10. Precipitation of AgCl will occur only when equal volumes of. Now you know that a precipitation occur only if the product of the molar concentration exceeds its Ksp. Isn't it? What about the first option? 10 raised to minus 4 by 2 into 10 raised to minus 4 by 2. That is equal to that will be equal to 0.25 into 10 to the power of minus 8. Am I right? You may know that why I am taking by 2 in each case, because you are adding equal volumes. When equal volumes are added, the volume get doubled. When volume get doubled, the molar concentration become half to the original. Okay, so it is 0.25 into 10 raised to minus 8, that is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 9. No doubt it is much greater than that of Ksp. So precipitation definitely occur here. What about in this case? Apparently you know that ionic product is much less than that of Ksp. But please note here it is already 10 raised to minus 14. Here even though 10 raised to minus 10 comes, 0.25 into 10 raised to minus 10 will be obtained by taking the ionic product. That is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 11 is much less compared to this. There is no precipitation. Precipitation occur only in the first case. What about question number 84? The important step of the extraction of metal from carbonate ore. You know that carbonate ore or sulfide ore etc. will be converted into oxide ore, isn't it? For converting carbonate to ore, you need not to take roasting. Why? There is oxygen. There is no use of oxygen from outside. When zinc carbonate or calamine is simply calcinated, you will get what? Zinc oxide. Don't forget, if you are taking zinc blend, you require roasting rather than calcination, because oxygen should be taken from outside, that is roasting. But here they say it is a carbonate ore, so there is no use of oxygen from outside, so calcination is needed here. What about question number 85? Which substance would give a solution with a boiling point below that of pure water rather than above? You know that a solution will show lower boiling point if it gives positive deviation solution. Isn't it? Alcohol with water will give you what? Positive deviation solution. So that will give rise to an azeotrope with a low boiling point. Isn't it? So the question asked here is which one will give rise to positive deviation solution? Ethyl alcohol with water will give rise to positive deviation solution. What about question number 86 here? Internal forces. You know that intermolecular forces of attraction is given in terms of P plus A by V square, isn't it? And what about this term indicate? This suggests the size of the molecule, that is co-volume. What about this term suggest? This term suggests the intermolecular forces of attraction. These are two corrections given by Van der Waals. All of you know, so I need not to spend much time on it. Now, what about question number 87 here? Don't help differentiating the isomers. Conductivity measurement, no doubt, you can see, suppose the compound is this one, and electrical conductivity will be the highest because you will get one complex ion and 3 chloride ion, and if it is like this, you can see what? You can see the ions produced in solution is less. So this possesses lesser conductivity than this. So by the conductivity measurement, no doubt one can differentiate hydrate isomerism. What about the mass of the precipitate? Clearly here you will get 3 mole AgCl, whereas you will get only 2 mole AgCl. And dipole moment also, you know, the different species ions are produced here, isn't it? And in this case you can see the complex species possess 3 plus, whereas here the complex ion possesses 2 plus. But what about magnetic moment measurement? In both the case, magnetic moment is the same because in both the case chromium exists in 3 plus state. So by the measurement of magnetic moment, one cannot conclude what different types of hydrate isomerism. So our answer should be option D. What about question number 88? If 200 ml helium at 0.66 atm and 400 ml oxygen at 0.52 atm are raised in 400 ml, so you need not go behind the formula here. Simple one. What happened to the helium? Originally it was in the 200 ml vessel. Now it is transferred to 400 ml vessel. That is, as far as concerned for helium, its volume get doubled. If the volume is doubled, its pressure should be halved. Already the pressure is 0.66 atm. If it is halved, it should be 0.33 atm. Now what about that of oxygen? Oxygen, it is 0.52 atm. Already it is in 400 ml vessel. Now it is entering into the vessel having the same capacity. So for as far as concerned for oxygen, nothing happened to its volume. Volume practically the same. In that case, the pressure should also be the same. So the correct option should be 0.33 and 0.52. You need not to individually use the result like P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. You can use, but no need of using that idea here, because volume get doubled, pressure is halved. Volume remains same, pressure, the partial pressure will be the same. Clear now? Now let me introduce question number 89. A metallic carbide on reaction with water. A metallic carbide, you know that a popular carbide like aluminum carbide and beryllium carbide will produce methane gas. This is very important information. Beryllium carbide and aluminum carbide, when treated with water, will produce methane gas, whereas calcium, strontium, barium carbide, these carbide and also MgC2, when added in water, you will get acetylene gas. Don't forget, these type of carbides are produced by lanthanoids that you studied. In lanthanoid can also initially form these type of carbide. Carbides of lanthanoid can also hydrolyze to give acetylene gas. And very important point is Mg2C3 that on hydrolysis produce propane gas. Now, a metallic carbide on treating with water, you got hydrocarbon, and they say it gives ammoniacal silver nitrate will produce a white precipitate. Clearly that hydrocarbon should be what? One alkyne. All of you know that if triple bonded carbon carry hydrogen and it is treated with a Tholen's reagent, you will get a white precipitate of that silver. So I hope it is clear. So in this question, the carbide can be what? Carbide can be either like this or can be like this. Why? Propane also contain what? High acidic hydrogen. But fortunately, propane is not in our option. So the only possible answer here is acetylene, C2H2. Clear now? Now let me introduce the last question here. The natural rubber is a polymer of. All of you know that it is a polymer of isoprene. You know the natural rubber is polycis isoprene. Am I right? That you know very well. I think all these questions seems to be simple in this paper. Thank you.